Hi everyone, I'm Michael. Thank you for taking the time to watch this release video. We're launching release 15.2, and in this release we've added 113 features and enhancements, and we're going to take you through some of them because obviously you won't have time to go through all of them. And if you want to check out a full list of the features, you're welcome to click the link below. If you have a question or a request, there's also a button at the bottom of the screen. You're welcome to click it at any given time. So let's start reviewing some of the features in this release. The first feature we're going to talk about today is the admin's ability to change the SR prefix. Now, what does that mean? Take a look for a second at this email. As you can see, this is a notification that I got from SysAid, but as opposed to the pound sign that we're used to see, I now see a dollar sign. And how is this done, and what is this useful for? So before, if you had two organizations that were using SysAid, and these two organizations were communicating amongst themselves using SysAid, there could have been cases where the service request numbers would collide, and because of the way SysAid works, where it looks at the prefix and the ticket number, then there could have been cases where messages replies were wrongly assigned. In order to avoid that, what we did was provide the ability to change the prefix of the SR on one of the sides, and then we won't have these collisions. To do that, all you need to do is go to Settings and then go to Customize and download the translation file. The translation file is a file that is responsible for all the captions that you see in SysAid. So essentially, if you wanted to translate SysAid to a whole different language with a specific dialect, you could do so. I will click Translation, and as you can see, we have various languages here, and like I said, each language has its own translation file. We're going to change the English language. Now all I need to do is download the translate file to my desktop, and now all I need to do is open this file with a notepad. Now there are a few parameters that you need to change in this file, and we won't have time to cover all these parameters now. So in this case, for the full guide, please refer to the link that you're seeing right now on the screen, and you will find all the instructions that you need. The next feature I want to talk about are the enhancements that we added to the automatic dependencies of our workflow actions. So I'm going to go to Settings now and Service Desk Templates. Now what I'm explaining applies to problem templates, change templates, and request templates as well. For the example, we're going to go to Problem Templates and select the standard problem template. And let's go to the Identify and Analyze stage. And under this Identify and Analyze stage, we'll have substages. Now, right here, we have this Attributes button. I'm going to go to the Resources and Assessment stage. And what I want to do is basically copy the content of the notes in the Identify stage to the Resource Assessment. How do I do that? I just click Attributes, and right here at the bottom I have the ability to basically transfer this data. I'll just go to select the Identify and Analyze tab, and from this tab I want to copy from the Identify stage the note fields to the local field. Also, I want the notes, and the population method will be overwrite if not completed, and I'll click Add. Well, that's all fine and good. This is what we were able to do up till today. The enhancement that we added, let me just delete that for a moment and do this again. So the enhancements that we added are basically, first, we're not able to just pull data from the field, we are now able to also push data to that field. So if I take the arrow and set it at this direction, what's going to happen is when I save the ticket, the data from the notes field in the assessment and resources stage is going to be pushed back to the notes field in the identify stage. And another very useful enhancement that we've added here is we've added more population methods. So you can either append the data, you can overwrite the data, it doesn't matter if it's back or forth, and you can append if not completed. And here you have various population triggers where you can actually update the data according to various events. Another very useful enhancement is the ability to limit categories visibility to specific user groups. So if you have a category that you want just one specific user group to be exposed to, you can now do that. How do we do that? Simple. Go to categories and let's select the Android category here. So I have this field here, visible in end user portal for user groups. Now the default is all users, so this category is exposed to everybody. If I want to limit this category just for the human resource, all I need to do is click here and remove this assignment and select the human resources group, and of course click done afterwards. That's it. We have now moved to our asset list, and what I want to show you here is the ability to update the agent settings directly from the asset list. Now before, when we installed an agent, we didn't have the ability to update its settings, at least not in a very easy way through the user interface, and now we've added this ability. All you need to do is just look for the asset that you want to change the settings to and say the URL for your server changed, okay, and you want to change it, you want to refer your agents now to that new URL. You don't have to redeploy them. All you need to do is just check the agent like I just did and click agent settings, and right here you have the agent settings screen, which you all know, and you have the ability to change its settings, meaning you can change the server URL to a different URL. If that's changed, you can change the refresh interval, you can change the message that users are getting when you're starting a remote control session, the captions on the buttons of your remote control when you start a remote control session, and you can also install the SysAid password services. Every action that you were able to do in the beginning of the process before you installed the agent and couldn't do up till today, you couldn't edit it in case you made a mistake or made some changes. Now you can actually update it, and then at the end, of course, just click save to save all your new settings. We're still in the asset list, and the feature that I want to show you here is the ability for admins to flag a field as unique. Say you want to keep some kind of field in your asset form or CI form, and you want it to serve as some kind of unique identifier, say a serial, a name, some kind of number. It could be basically whatever you want it to be. You can now select one field and flag it as unique, so no two assets or CIs will have the same value in that field. How do we do that? We'll go to one of the assets, and in this form I've added a field called asset custom text 1, and I want to make this field unique. So for that I need to go to customize, and I need to switch here to the default type, and this is very important. If I want to set a field as unique, I have to do it from the default type, and this way this unique flag will apply to all other types. So I've made the asset custom text one field visible in the default type, and all I need to do now is just select it, and right here you see I marked it as unique. Once I mark it as unique, we need to save, and if I want this to work on the server type as well, I will have to go again after I've added the field to the default type. I'll have to go ahead and make it visible again in the server type. Now let's see if that worked. I'll put 1 here and click apply. Okay, and then let's go to another server and try and put the same value in this field. Apply. See, I'm getting a message that the value I specified in custom text 1 field is already in use, and it's telling me exactly where it's in use. Okay, so I need to enter a unique value. If I put in the number 2 for that matter and click apply, it's going to go through without any problems. We have now moved to our software products, which is under assets and software products. Software products basically enable us to manage our software licenses and keep track of them. And in this version, we've added a very nice query builder to the software products, which enhances the ability to manage and count our software licenses. So let's see how it works. I'll create a new software product, and let's say I want to manage all the Office licenses in my organization. So let's say, for the sake of this example, I don't mind which version of Office I have. I just want to know how many Office licenses I have installed in my organization. So let's type Office here. The version, for the sake of this example, doesn't concern me, and say according to my records I have purchased 5 Office licenses, and we'll fill in a purchase date, okay, and an expiration date, again just for the sake of this example, and we'll skip the notes. Managed licenses, yes. Now before, what we had in the software products is the ability to go here and find Office and just select from a specific list and count the licenses. Now what we did is we added a query builder here, which makes our life first a lot more easier because we don't have to search from that list and check stuff. And it gives us the ability to manage our software products in a more granular manner. I'll show you how. First, we'll click this query builder. And for now, as I said, I just want to know how many Office licenses I have in my organization, regardless of its version. So I'll just select install names, like Office, and create filter, and apply. So SysAid found 3 assets which contain the Office software, and if I click here I can see exactly which assets these are. Now let's see another use case where I am interested in knowing how many Office licenses I have installed in my organization per version. So what I can do, I can go back to this query builder and I can just create a more detailed query. So I'll select and here, and I'll say installed names like Office, and I can also add the version parameter like, and say in this case I know exactly the version to its number. Okay, I could essentially say 2012 here or 2010, but in this case, I know exactly the version number. That's how detailed I can get with this query and managing the software product. So I'll create the filter and apply. And you see now SysAid found only one license. And it will tell me again where this license is installed. As we said in the beginning, we've added 113 new features and enhancements, but we've also made some fixes, and I would like to take you through the key fixes right now. Obviously, again, we won't have time to go through the entire list, so there is a link below if you want to check out the full list. The first improvement I want to show you is with these options here, the remote control options, the chat options. As you can see, the remote control option is now enabled for editing PC. But what if editing PC is disabled or the user on editing PC is offline? So in these cases, the improvement that we made is that this option will be disabled. Just as you can see here, this user is currently offline, so I can't chat with him and I can't perform a remote control with him. But this asset is enabled. So if I go and just disable this asset, there it is, and I'll just disable the asset. And let's go back to the incident. We'll see that the remote control option is disabled. We have also tightened the security against cross-site scripting, or should I say unauthorized cross-site scripting, because it can actually control the option. Right here under settings, customize appearance, we've added this option, modify the tag opening character to secure against cross-site scripting. So whenever this option is checked, the opening tag and the script will be modified and basically create a void script which will not work. And if you do want to allow cross-site scripting, you can simply uncheck this option. Once you do, click save and you're done. Some other fixes that we made: in previous versions of SysAid, there was an issue that sometimes prevented admins that were logged in with SSO from opening the reset password from the Windows login screen. So in 15.2, this has now been fixed. Previously, some admins were prevented from logging in with SSO from within an iframe. That has now also been fixed. You may also have been aware of an issue that prevented admins logged in with SSO from adding attachments to a ticket. This has now been resolved. We've also made enhancements to the custom columns by including the ability to filter by custom values and export from custom columns. And we've added support for custom columns in additional places. Another issue that has been resolved is the problem that caused the system to display operating times in the signature of a message based on the wrong time zone. These will now display in the correct time zone. And an issue that once prevented the #installed column from displaying its values in the software products list with Internet Explorer 10 has now also been fixed. And lastly, we've also made infrastructure improvements. We've improved the scheduler and we've improved the connection pool. These will improve the performance greatly. One of the key focuses in this release was expanding the number of integrations that SysAid can support. And if you've been with us for a while now, or you're using a third-party integration right now, then you know that before we needed the help of professional services to do that and a little magical thing called code. Therefore, it gives us great pleasure to announce that in 15.2, we're adding an integration platform which will help you do these integrations much more easily without the need of any coding. So let's take a look and see how that works. Let's take a look at our integrations platform. So I'm going to click Settings, and under Integration, I'll find Third-Party Integrations. And now you can see that I already have 3 activated under My Integrations, and I have some optional ones that can be activated. Now currently the integrations that we fully support are integrations with Dell to get warranty information, Logmein Rescue to invoke a Logmein session. I'll show you how that works in a moment. We also work with SSO with Google Apps and invoking remote control sessions for BombGuard. This integration here is our barcode scanning asset management module, and we'll speak about that at a later time. But now let's see how we actually start an integration with a third-party application. So first of all, if you click any of these, you'll get to a list of available and upcoming integrations. And in addition, if you would like to request an integration that is not on this list, what you can do is simply click here and submit a request for an integration. Now, if I want to integrate with one of these 4 applications, so first thing I need to do is contact my account manager and ask for either a zip file if I'm on-premise, or for the integration to be activated for me if I'm on a cloud account. Once I have my integrations activated, we won't get into the installation of the zip file process in this video. All I need to do is click this cogwheel here, and you see I have this switch here where I can either stop, and I can of course switch it back on. Now sometimes there'll be some prerequisites for the integration to work. For example, if you want the Logmein Rescue integration to work, you'll need the Logmein Technician console to be installed on your machine. Now we won't have time to show you all the integrations obviously, but they're pretty straightforward. So I'm just going to show you 1 or 2. For instance, the Logmein integration, what it allows you to do is invoke a Logmein session, for example, straight from the service record. So you see, you have the Logmein console remote right here, and this will allow you to simply start a Logmein session with that specific user. What it does is it creates a unique key for the Logmein Rescue, which you can later simply send to that specific user and start a Logmein session with him. Very nice and simple. Another integration is the Dell integration. So for the Dell integration, we've added to our assets the following fields. You see Dell end date, Dell start date, and Dell update date. These basically show you the warranty expiration dates of this particular Dell asset, and this data is pulled directly from the Dell servers. So all that's left for you to do is just take a look at that list and what's upcoming and what can help you, and of course what you would like us to add to the integration platform, and simply submit a request. This concludes our overview of version 15.2. If you would like to download the latest release, all you need to do is just refer to the link below. And if you still have questions, comments, or requests, all you need to do is just click the button at the bottom of the screen. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.